Hello, everybody, and welcome, or I guess just Miss Ray, but we'll see. This is my oral history interview, and I'm doing it with my mom. So this is my mom.
Hi.
And so we're gonna be going through some questions that I wrote down in my Chromebook, but we're also going to just have a nice little interview. Try and hit the 1 hour mark, of course. Uh, for the majority of this video, there will not be any people shown, just because it would make me and my mom both a little bit uncomfortable. Just I thought we'd put ourselves in the intro, so it will mostly be my bedroom wall, but I hope that's not a problem. But we will be talking consistently throughout the interview, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so let me set the camera down right now. There you go. There's the bedroom wall. Okay. To start us off, Mom, can you tell me exactly when and where you were born and what your earliest childhood memory is?
I was born in Sweetwater County Memorial Hospital in Rock Springs, Wyoming at 7 in the morning on the 1st of September 1967. And I remember being in a swing at my grandma's house under a big tree, and she would tie us with sheets into the swing so we didn't fall out because they didn't have those fancy baby swings back then. I remember swinging back and forth in the sunlight.
Oh, that's really sweet, Mom. I really enjoyed that, and I thought that was neat how you had a close connection with your grandma I didn't know before. I think that's pretty neat, especially with the swings and that, because I've never thought about how swings were back then. I've always thought it was just one thing. And what was the? Do you have any descriptions about the house or apartment you grew up in, like what your bedroom looked like, or anything like that?
We moved a lot when I was little because my dad was trying to finish high school and my mom was trying to finish high school, so we lived in like a one room place by the railroad. And I remember there was a cat there, and it was pretty small. We were all in one room. And then when they finished high school, we moved to Ogden, and we lived in an apartment with a lady named Mrs. Thomas, and she was LDS. And this is significant because I remember she drank warm water before church on Sunday morning, and that was the first time I'd ever heard of LDS. We were living in Ogden because I'm Episcopalian, and she lived by herself. She was an old lady, and she had 3 duplexes. We lived in one of the units, and she had a dog named Joker, who was blind.
I think that's interesting. The dog's name was Joker.
Yeah.
What kind of dog was that?
It was a short-haired, wiry, kind of medium-sized dog, and he was black and white. And Mrs. Thomas was the most immaculate housekeeper. Our grounds and our driveway, everything was so clean at this duplex. She swept the driveway in the morning, and yeah, she was really a neat lady.
Yeah, I think that's really neat. That dog's name also seems pretty fitting with black and white, like a clown. How it was like wiry and like jumpy. That sounds like a
Yeah.
It sounds. I don't know. Whoever named that dog had it.
Mrs. Thomas named that dog.
Yeah, Mrs. Thomas has a good sense of imagination.
Oh, and she hated gum.
Gum.
Yeah, I remember.
A lot of people.
One time after Halloween, I was chewing gum, and she said, "A proper lady never chews gum. It makes you look like a cow." And I don't think I ever chewed gum again.
Actually, that's a bit of a point that it makes you look like a cow, because I don't know, like people, they kind of just sit there and they chew and they chew and they don't really digest anything. They kind of just move their mouth around like they're chewing on hay.
And then they stick it in unfortunate places, like under tables at libraries.
And at schools.
Yeah.
Countless times I've put my hand under a desk at school and I had gum fall in it.
It's It's pretty disgusting. I'm gonna side with Mrs. Thomas. Rest her soul.
I like gum, but I always throw it away. Or I would never put it in a public space. Like
Yeah, stick
I'll put
to
it in my
home
own room.
first.
I don't hide it. I put it like in one place. Like it's always in the same place. It's just because I'm too lazy to throw it away. Okay, but I don't. If I was in public, I would never stick it like underneath a desk or something.
I hope so.
Cause like if somebody else came in my room, I'd clean it. Okay, maybe not. But like, if you put it in a public space, you're subjecting someone who just accidentally grabs the table one time by accident is gonna now touch your gum, and that's just disgusting. It's just
I agree.
rude. No sense of public manners, and then they have to pay somebody to go around the library stripping. Make that janitor do that. And it's just.
Bad all around.
Like, what if the gum sticks to the desk and they've now got, like, pig stains underneath it because there's gum and... Yeah, it's pretty bad. And what did your parents or my grandparents do for a living back then? How would you describe your family's economic situation? Do you, like, remember a time when money was tight or when you had to do without something you wanted?
Well, my dad was working at a service station in the town he was born in when I was conceived and born, and he kept working there so he could finish high school. And my mom waited tables at Little America, which is 20, not the nice one in Salt Lake, the one 20 miles out of Green River, Wyoming. And we were very poor. We lived in a tiny room. And then my sister was born 2 years later. And then when we lived with Mrs. Thomas, my dad worked for the Forest Service. And he was involved in conservation, which suited him very well because he's probably the most influential person in my life in terms of environmental stewardship and taking care of animals and not wasting. And then he was at Weber State College trying to get his degree in engineering and take care of us at the same time, working for the Forest Service. And my mom worked for the Ogden Golf and Country Club, again as a waitress. And yeah, it's funny, we were obviously extremely poor, but I don't remember thinking of us as poor. We had some food and we had a place to live and we had an old TV and it just seemed like we were normal.
Yeah, oftentimes, especially back then, especially when you're a kid too, it's hard. You generally don't think of things as your economic situation. You kind of just enjoy the moment. If you're happy with your current situation, you don't think of yourself as poor. You think of yourself as spoiled, and you never grow up with that mindset. You never really realize that you were actually poor in the first place, and that makes sense. But I think something that's really neat is that your dad went to Weber State, and is that the same Weber State we know and love today?
Yep, Purple Wildcats. But he never finished. He never was able to finish.
And why is that?
Because my grandparents were coming down to visit us one Sunday, and they were at 5 Points in Ogden, and they were in a head-on collision, and my grandpa had his whole skull cracked open, and he had 89 stitches and staples, and my grandma had terrible injuries, and after that, they were not able to drive and live by themselves. So then the cool thing is my dad did have to eventually quit college because we couldn't afford to take care of my grandparents. And he had to get a different job and he had to work long hours to take care of his parents, which I always admired that
he had to put his school life on standby.
Yeah, and he never went back. But he and I have talked about that a lot. He does not regret 1 second of giving up his education for his dad and his mom. And my dad is easily the smartest person I've ever met. He's good at chemistry, physics, calculus. he can write. He was just so smart. And it's kind of shown me that you can be an engineer even if you don't finish engineering school, because he was hired by a company called Permaloy, which did the prototypes for anodized aluminum back before they had that technology. He was the one who actually developed that prototype. And we did okay. I mean, we never were really rich. We always had a car. And we moved about 4 different times to different houses. But I don't know. I never thought of myself as rich or poor. I always thought we were fine.
Yeah, I think that's really inspirational. That your dad still became such a successful and intelligent person without even finishing his school. Not to say that he didn't go far into his school. Can you tell me like how far he did go into school before he had to
Junior
leave?
year.
Junior year.
1 year left.
Wow.
Yep.
He couldn't make it. Yeah, that is rough.
Yeah, he had to work more, and he had to take care of his parents. And then when my grandma died, my grandpa had to go into a rest home because he fell and he hit his head and he almost died. And
Your grandpa's had now hit his head 2 times.
well, he fell in the bathroom and he was bleeding, and my mom and I were trying to get him up, and we were waiting for my dad to come home from work, and he almost died that day because he lost his balance and he hit his head on a glass shelf in the bathroom. And yeah, so we had to move him to a rest home, which was really traumatic for my dad because he did not want his dad in a rest home. And we moved back to Green River and Rock Springs because the rest homes were less expensive there. And that's when my dad left his job and he went to work in the mines, which he did not like at all, but he needed to make money. And I always admired him for always making sure we had what we needed. And it seemed like we always had what we needed. He was like a good provider in a lot of ways.
I respect your dad a lot for that he put his family before his own goals. And he supported those who once supported him when they were unable to support themselves.
Yeah.
I think that's something really respectful, and I think that is something that he could inspire us all to do someday. And I think that's something we should all aspire to do. I think that's something that a lot of people don't do. I think that's also something that in society it's just become a lot less common, and everybody just once they move out and they have their family, or even once they're done with high school or they move into a new place, they forget their family exists. I mean, sometimes it's maybe a little bit more reasonable if they had a very bad relationship with their like an abusive parent or something. But even so, I remember at church the other day, we learned about that guy who was treated pretty badly by his dad when he was young, and he still rekindled the relationship. And I don't think that any relationship has ever fully gone between you and your parent. And I think people go through rough patches, which is understandable, especially in a situation like this. But I think that's really inspiring. That fills me with a lot of awe. And what are some holidays like Thanksgiving or Christmas when you were little? What was the staple food on the table? Like,
oh, for holidays.
did anybody teach you? Who taught you how to cook that food?
My grandma, actually, when she lived with us up until the age I was 6, she was blind by now because she went blind when my dad was about between 16 and 18. She was misdiagnosed with the wrong medication for diabetes, and she went blind very quickly. And she taught my dad how to cook very urgently when she started going blind, because she wanted to give him a lot of recipes, for lack of a better way to say it. And to this day, he's really a very good cook. And she was she was a professional baker during the Depression. She actually got fired for sneaking food out to the starving people during the Depression. So she was really a good cook. And I learned how to cook like meat and salad and potatoes and like staple stuff from my dad. But my mom had very unusual sort of cooking because her mom made unusual things. My mom lost her dad when she was 7 and her mom when she was 13. So my mom lived with all these random relatives and they all made, there's like these 10 dishes that were common in that family that the mom taught them. And they were like their staple foods. And one of them was reeling tacos. And we always had those on the 4th of July.
Can you tell me what was in those really tacos?
You don't want to know. You had to have white flour tortillas.
That's not bad.
And shredded Velveeta cheese, fake cheese.
So if you call Play-Doh cheese.
And no spice, like no Tabasco, no Chipotle, but pretty bland. And here was the weird part, was the meat mixture. They took a bag of hashed brown potatoes in oil, cooking oil, in a cast iron skillet and like stirred it around. And then they added ground beef and salt and pepper. So the tacos consisted of iceberg lettuce, tomato, this mixture of potatoes and meat, and this cheese product.
Did you
no
enjoy it?
salsa.
Did
no
you enjoy it, or was it?
It was food, you know. We were poor. We ate whatever was in front of us. There were only a few things I would not eat under any circumstances. I will not eat pig's feet. I will not eat brain. I will not drink milk. I will not eat bacon. Other than that, we ate what we were served.
But you ate other parts of pork?
No.
You should just rule out pork and
At one point, I had Jimmy Dean sausages, but that was it.
Did that freak you out?
No, they went with pancakes and syrup every single Sunday.
Jimmy Dean sausage has pork in them?
Yes, they are pork. They're gross.
Well, you seem to like them back then.
No, they were non-negotiable. That was on your plate.
I would have really been hungry. I'm not joking.
And on Christmas or New Year's, we would usually have prime rib if we could afford it. If not, we'd have hamburger.
That explains why prime rib is so important to you right now.
On a holiday,
It's
yeah,
always special to you.
yeah. And I don't even like it, but it was like
But it's just a symbol of special.
if we had enough money for prime rib, it was going to be a good Christmas.
Well, more money for prime rib, less money for presents.
Yeah, so maybe it's best we had the burger. And sorry, on Easter, because we're Greek, we always had Greek Easter. So we always had the egg basted round Greek bread with the red egg in the middle of it for Easter. We always had lamb. Yeah, always. And then various vegetables that went with it. But the staple was that bread and that lamb every Easter.
Wow.
And spani kopita. And we'd often get, for dessert, we would get baklava and dolmadas. So yeah, Easter was quite a nice.
Well, that was quite
spread.
the Greek. That was quite the Greek specialty, huh?
Yeah, it was a good spread.
I think even though in Utah we have our burger joints like Paula Burger and all these places down every avenue,
Those are
especially in inner
fake.
city,
That's fake
with
Greek.
all these
Fake.
fake Greek restaurants. Back in Wyoming, you were getting the baklava. You were really being treated. I think that's pretty neat that you were able to go through such experiences and have food unique to a state that a lot of people would consider a state with no people and only cows.
Well, we had Father Lucas, and we had to go to Greek school.
Why do Utah people won't ever experience that?
I'll bet not.
Even with Mount Olympus and that, like,
Oh, we had no Mount Olympus.
I know. I'm just saying, there's a lot of Greek cultures.
We had Father Lucas.
Assimilated into the Salt Lake, even though there's like no one Greek here.
There's a lot of Greeks in Salt Lake, by the way.
Is it like one of the bigger states for Greeks or no?
There's a fair number of them here.
Yeah, pretty neat. And, what was school like for you? Who was that one memorable teacher who actually influenced how you thought about the world?
That is a tough question.
If you don't want to,
I
can move on to it.
loved school, even though I was crippled when I was little, and I couldn't go out to play because my legs were turned inward and kind of a little bit backward. Literally, my knee was backward, and I had to wear these metal braces, and so I couldn't go out to play. But my teachers were my best friends, so they would roll the ball to me. They'd sit me outside and roll this ball on the ground back and forth to me, and they'd take me to the library and they'd teach me extra stuff. So until I got my braces off, I got so much attention from great teachers. I got to read extra. I got to help them with assignments. And I actually think that's why I was smart academically, because I was crippled when I was young.
So you have double the study time of everybody else.
Yes, I got so much attention from my teachers. I loved it. So that was when I was super young. And then I had...
Well, when did that go away?
Those braces?
Yeah.
They came off on the 5th of February when I was in 2nd grade.
Ah, you remember the date?
Because I went and bought some pink tennis shoes. And I never used those walkers and those crutches. I threw them away.
In the bin.
Yeah, I fell down all the time. I had like black and blue knees. But I refused to wear those anymore. And eventually I learned how to run.
Ah, you do have quite the experience running, and one of your favorite little things to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really special about it.
And I hated those black and white corrective shoes that we have to wear when you're crippled. And I use the word crippled because that was the nomenclature that we used at that time. Now that word's not allowed by the ADA. But I didn't mind someone saying I was crippled then. I was like, okay, that's pretty obvious. And I am. I also was diagnosed as legally deaf when I was 5.
Right now you only have about 40%.
Yeah, so I must have been quite a handful for my mother.
Well, I had a lot of allergies when I was younger too, so I've never been a great kid either, so...
Oh, allergies are not a big deal. You can walk.
You know, but I've also not been a great kid, so I guess I was also handful.
You lie. You're a great kid.
You lie.
No, you lie.
No. What were the different cliques or groups at your school, and which one did maybe you belong to, maybe?
What grade?
At that age, after you lost your cripples.
Oh man, that was tough.
And also, like, was it cool for girls to be smart or ambitious or?
Well, that's like grade 3, grade 2.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, no, we had to wear a dress every day, and I got in trouble for going on the jungle gym in my dress because I went upside down and my dress went upside down.
Oh.
Yeah, so then my mom bought me these stretchy leggings that went under my dress from then on because I would not get off the jungle gym.
I feel like in that age, nobody really cares.
No,
I think it's the teacher who cares.
The teacher was losing it. Also,
I don't think the
Ogden,
other kids really care.
in Ogden, there were almost no kids in my school that were not LDS.
Wow.
So, because I got confirmed, I had a cross, because that was a gift from my mom when I got confirmed. And you have to know quite a lot about the New Testament and the book of Acts to get confirmed. So I was very excited about it. And I got this cross, and they sent me home from school for wearing it in public.
Wow.
And we actually moved schools over this because my mom was very upset.
Your mom lost it?
Yeah, well, she got upset about that.
Was she like, I will not handle this?
Yeah. So I eventually moved schools. And the other weird thing I remember as a kid, which is very different from your upbringing, every single person in my school, including the teachers, was white.
Wow.
Caucasian. Really weird.
That's definitely different than my upbringing.
Really weird. And really not maybe normal.
Not a singular black student?
I do not remember anyone in our town.
Not a singular...
There was a Mexican lady that was a waitress at the
So there's
place
a
we used to
colored-
go for breakfast.
So there was a colored person in your town.
No, I don't remember.
You said this Mexican lady.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
She worked at this restaurant. She made eggs.
That is definitely a key difference from how I grew up.
Oh, yeah.
So,
You were a 5% minority.
in the land down under.
Yeah. Without the kangaroo.
Yeah, definitely without kangaroo. And transitioning from that,
Yeah.
what was your first like real job? Like, and how did you spend your first like real?
My
paycheck?
first real job
Yeah,
was
just
when
made
I
a
was
paycheck.
8. I got hired for a weekly regular babysitting job because my neighbor needed to go to work. And I used to babysit this boy named Dustin.
Dustin.
And I used to clean their house.
Was Dustin well behaved?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He was about 4. I was 8.
So he couldn't really.
So
do
it's
much.
kind of comical, actually.
So
That
he couldn't really do much other than flop around on the floor.
yeah, it was kind of comical that I was babysitting like a 4-year-old and I was
I
8.
think it's funny that a parent would hire an 8-year-old.
Well, okay.
Alright,
Dustin-
8-year-old, you don't even know your own name, but
No.
you're go.
Dustin was he was a little boy
That's-
in our church.
To me, that's the equivalent of hiring a rabbit to come watch your kid.
Yeah, well, no, we lived down the street, and my mom was on call, standby, and they were at the Episcopal church, so it wasn't quite so drop the kid off and leave. And I went to their house, and it was during the day.
Did you get free food while you were at the house?
I could make a sandwich. If I made Dustin a sandwich, I could make my own self one. But I was there to work, so I wasn't there to extract sandwiches out of these people.
I demand maximum.
And you know what's weird is when I was babysitting, I used to clean the heck out of the house. Like I would scrub the baseboards and vacuum and clean the whole kitchen. And so word got out that babysitting came with an absolute scrub up. So then I had a waiting list of people wanting to hire me to babysit. in
They're
this
hiring
town.
you to clean their house. Not
Oh
babysit.
yeah, they're like, oh, this girl's so stupid. She'll for $2 an hour, she'll do all this other stuff.
Were you aware at that time they were taking advantage of you?
No, I thought they loved me. I thought it was love.
Oh, they loved you, alright.
Exactly.
They definitely loved you.
Kind of reminded me of the whole story with Ray Charles.
Who's Ray Charles?
Ray Charles is probably the most famous black blind musician from the blues era.
Oh, that Ray Charles.
Ray Charles.
Wow. I remember we learned about the black migration, the black movement during the mid-1900s. It was pretty neat. And transitioning from that, what were your big plans when you graduated high school? Did you go to college or straight into a career? And what did your parents think of your choices?
My parents were very equitable. And they pulled me over at about the age of 7th grade and said, we are a poor family and your life is not going to be good if you don't go to college. You're smart. So make sure you get good grades and get a scholarship. You're going to take the ACT your junior year. And if you study really hard, something right will happen with your life. My parents wanted me to get out of that town and get into a college. But they did not have money to help me. But they did forewarn me I had to do it on my own.
Because they couldn't help you.
Yeah, no, but they were trying to keep my grandparents alive, and
They were probably also trying to get some independence out of you.
yeah, I don't know. So my number one goal was to. It's kind of scary when your mom gets pregnant when she's in high school. I guess your number one goal is to not do that. So to graduate not pregnant. I love to do sports, and I was in lots of clubs and have fun, and to get really good grades. And then, Karen, hello.
Yeah, I think that's really neat.
And then to get out of that town and to not marry anyone. But then I did get engaged to be married my junior year. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that we don't really see that much in Utah, at least to my knowledge. You got the underage marriages, but in Wyoming, I know it was very common to be a dad, but before you were officially successful with the ACT, so you were successful changing your first diapers before you were successful learning how to get a 36. So, yeah, I think that's a big difference between Wyoming and Utah, but I think that, I don't know, I respect once again that your dad tried to work towards you having a good future and something that, even though it was hard for him to do, especially since he couldn't really help you that much, I really respect that he tried his best throughout your life to try and make sure that your upbringing went as smoothly and successfully as possible. So moving on to the next question. Moving on to the next question. What has been your favorite job you've ever held as an adult, and what made it so satisfying compared to the others? Whoa. Which job? Which job?
Huh?
Which job? Which job was satisfying
Oh,
compared to your other jobs when you first started?
I liked being a florist. I liked, why do you have that weird shadow on your
I don't know.
on your wall? That was kind of weird. There's the door. Hi. I am a bit shy. I never even had photos taken at my wedding. I don't like selfies and I don't like pictures.
Well, tell me about that. How did your wedding go?
It was terrible.
That's okay.
Yeah. I got married we got these clothes from the outlet store in Maine, and we did not have rings, and we had no money, and no one came, and it was in the backyard of his mother's house. Really, what was I thinking? Anyhow, well, we got that thing done. And then, after we were getting married, then we had our children. And that was worth it.
Oh, you did have your kids for a while.
Yeah.
A good gap there.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know, good amount. Most people have kids before they reach
11 years.
11 years of marriage.
Yeah.
Some try to go for under 5. I don't know though. I think it worked out because some people also have kids just way too early and they regret it because their kids grow up in a shack because they're doing drugs. Tell me on the other question. What was really your favorite job you've ever had as an adult? And what made it really, really satisfying compared to other jobs you've had? Whoa.
When I worked for Gensler in interior architecture, how could somebody not be satisfied working for the number one architecture firm in the world? I was pretty happy.
I think that's really neat that you work for Gensler because that's an opportunity that a lot of people will never see, and I think that I don't know. I understand why you left the field.
Do you?
Yeah,
There was a recession,
and also CAD.
and there was a chance to go to Africa for a year. And then I was going to go back after that. And I didn't go back.
Yeah, I think this really represents how life can change in honestly an instant, and some decisions you never can go really back on. You never really end up going back on, and even though you may have plans of that, some situations you can't really ever change. So it's a testament to choose your decisions wisely, and I think that's really awesome that you had this experience where you were going to your dream job, your dream opportunity, all that, and then yes, it's very sad that you missed out on it because you had to leave it, or you wanted to, one or the other. But I think it's really interesting too because not so much in the sense that it was positive, but I think it helped you grow as a person, and I think it helped you learn how your decisions impacted your life and others' lives. And I think that it's also I guess it can serve as a moral to do what you want with your life sometimes and let God take you where you need to go.
Yeah.
And tell me about your early days in Africa and your favorite countries to explore. How did that go?
The first time I ever went to Africa, I went by myself with very limited money and a backpack, and I didn't know a soul. And I landed at Jomo Kenyatta International in Kenya, and I remember getting off the plane, and the airport was kind of like a big house. It was not a very big airport at all. And I'd never seen an airport that was little like that.
It was kind of in the middle of the African jungle.
No, it was on the outside of Kenya.
That's the
outside of Nairobi.
Another
Jomo Kenyatta was outside of Nairobi. And then I remember there was like this old clunky car that picked me up at the airport because I stayed at the Norfolk Hotel, which is like really cool, and it was actually cheap. And the driver on the way to the hotel was like driving pretty nonchalant. We were literally passing elephants and giraffes on the way into town, and I remember thinking this was the greatest day of my life.
And like, I'm officially the African explorer.
Oh yeah, it was incredible.
I'm gonna name this elephant after
I
me.
must say, I love Africa so much. If it wouldn't have been for family unfortunateness, I probably would still be there. I loved so much about Africa.
Despite the high crime and the decreasing public and social stability.
I think if I would have been over there with the right person, I would have been able to override that. Yeah.
Do you still have dreams of going back to Africa?
No, that became a bitter wound.
I'm sorry about that happened, but I think it's interesting. You went to such a small city or a small airport.
Oh, Kenya was great. Uganda was great.
You took so much of your goals in that, and you really went through with them, and you got to see your dream country.
I saw all of them, mostly.
Is there an animal from these that really always stood out to you?
Yeah, now that I've been away from there for 3 years, I think the one that will probably get me to go back is the elephant.
You think that one was always the most neat for you?
No, when I was there, I loved all of them. When I was there, it was the wild dogs and the sable antelope and
I do remember you liking the wild
lilac-breasted
dog.
roller and
What is it about the elephant now that you?
the hyenas. I don't think you ever forget this experience of standing in the middle of Amboseli with wild elephants walking around you, and you feel so small and so humble. They can easily kill you. And I remember they were just so nice to me, and they were so gentle.
Did they give you a pet?
No, but they were not killing me.
Did they let you
They
pet
walked
their
all
trunk?
around me, and I was supposed to get back in the truck, and I went to the loo, and I went the wrong way, and then they were in the truck, the big overland truck, and I got disoriented, and I was out there now, standing alone with those elephants in Amboseli, and there was no one that could help me by then, and they didn't do anything to me. They just walked around me.
And look at you.
Yeah,
They like extend their trunks.
no, they just seemed so. They accepted me as it was a matrimonial herd. If it would have been a male in Musk, I would have been chomped. But
Chomp, like what if you just got
stomp, tusk, whatever they do to you,
thrown around?
it wouldn't have been pretty.
Uh,
But yeah, it was a matrimonial herd, and I had read the work of Cynthia Moss when I was in Amherst in Boston in graduate school, and I remember just having dreamed about going where Cynthia Moss went, and those were her elephants, and suddenly I was standing in the dirt with those elephants, and then I went to go see Jane Goodall's chimps in Lake Tanganyika, and that also was very incredible. And then I got to be with Fosse's gorillas in the DRC.
you really went on quite the animal exploration.
Yeah,
Huh?
and then I went to Madagascar to see the lemurs, and they were like on my head, those lemurs. They walked around with me. I went to Madagascar by myself, and I was never lonely because the lemurs were my friends.
And I remember you just mentioning Lake Tanganyika. I think at some point you also mentioned that there are water cobras there.
Yeah, they're yellow.
And what did those water cobras' faces look like?
They looked close enough that I was gonna get out.
How far did you come to close to meeting one of them?
About 2 meters when I was swimming.
Did you think they were like just random tennis balls?
No, I thought I was gonna die.
Did you think they were?
No, I knew they were cobras.
When you got in.
No, when I saw them coming towards me.
Oh.
And then I swam real fast and got out.
So the closest they ever got to was 2 meters.
Yeah, that's close enough. There's also crocs in Lake Tanganyika.
Why'd you get in?
Because I wanted to go swimming.
I think we all know.
The longer you're in Africa, the more you wise up. Because you either die from your stupidity, or you become exceptionally seasoned quickly.
You become the top hunter.
And I've also seen black mambas in Botswana.
I've never seen a black mamba. I have seen a black widow spider.
Yeah,
before.
I've seen black mambas way too many times. There's a lot of black widows in this garden.
What was
here.
it? What was a most memorable interaction you've had with a black mamba before?
There's no memorable interaction.
I know, like what was the best one?
We were on foot in Botswana, in the Okavango Delta, and we got out of the Makuru to do a little bird walk, and the guy said, "Don't move." And I know what "don't move" means when it comes from a Tswana game guide. It means there's a snake, because the Tswana are very afraid of them because there's a lot of them up there. So I froze, and I saw him go past us, again about 2 meters away, and that was close enough. That's the fastest thing I've ever seen move. And I've seen cheetahs. Karen, hello.
And what was?
Karen, I think you might want to sit up.
And what was something?
There's a black widow coming towards you just now.
Oh no. And what was what was something that really made you back off from your days as an African explorer and made you settle more down into living there permanently? What was there a key event that?
I lived there when all this was going on.
Yes, but what drove you away from your mamba, gorilla, and exotic animal exploration quests?
I had a baby, and you can't go to the malarial areas with a baby or it will die.
Will the snake eat the baby?
No, the malaria will kill the baby.
And malaria won't kill you?
If you're under the age of 8, you contract Anopheles, the Falciparia malaria from the Anopheles mosquito. It's very hard to survive that.
Okay.
Whereas when you get older, you're a little stronger. I think, not guaranteed. You can still die.
Oh yeah, 100%. I remember I had malaria when I was a bit younger.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
No, you did
I
not.
got bit by a mosquito and you told me it was malaria.
Kieran, you did not have malaria.
We went to Zambia.
You got bit by a lot of mosquitoes, but buddy, you did not have malaria.
Did you get bitten by a mosquito?
No.
In Zambia, it's a malaria.
No, that's not true.
Yeah.
Malaria requires almost a guaranteed hospitalization for children. And usually don't make it.
Thank you very much. I was 10.
No?
I was
You got bit by a mosquito, but you did not contract malaria.
I was a young teenager.
A young teenager.
I was a teenager,
a
a young
preteen.
adult. A teenager was a young adult.
You were a preteen.
So I was really a young adult.
Okay.
I was a young adult when I was 10.
Right. Sure.
Right.
Okay.
So, there's a lot of other stuff that I'd like to talk to you about.
Okay, hurry.
Alright, so let's
How
talk
many
about...
more minutes do we have?
Well, let me check.
I'm quite sure I'm tired.
Okay, we got about 13 more.
Okay.
We're almost done.
Gee, this is long, eh?
Yeah, it is long. Alright. So, let's talk about historical happening around. Do you remember the very first time your family got a computer or a cell phone? How did people react to it? I know this seems strange because it was so recent years, especially for people like your dad and that. But is there any other things that I might not know about already?
I remember we got a video player when I was in 5th grade. We were the first people in our town to have one. And I remember my dad ordered it from a store in Rock Springs. And this thing was so big, it took 2 people to carry it.
It was one of those old style televisions or something.
No, it was a video. Is it because those VHS tapes, and you went to a special store to rent the movie. And I remember we watched the movie in our house on our TV. Everyone came over to see it. It was so crazy.
You all had to line up on the sofa?
No, like everybody was over there. It was like all our neighbors. It was famous that we had this thing.
The only one in the town?
Oh no, we were the epic new people on the block.
You guys were the movie house?
And then my
home theater.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to think. The next technological big thing was when I was in high school. I took this computer class. And you are going to laugh, but this is a true story. The computer was a room. It wasn't a thing on a desk. It was a room.
The entire room was filled with cables?
It was like a closet. It was a room. And it had special fans in it. And like security and lighting. And
boxes. And
no boxes, no. It was... This computer room was very taken care of. And
boxes is in boxes of hardware, like part of the computer.
Yeah.
Because it was probably huge.
And it was pretty cool because you got elected to be in this class in the high school, and I got to be in it. Not because I was that good at math and science, but because I was in FBLA and DECA. Future Business Leaders of America. So
that connects to what I'm doing right now, is I'm a member of FFA, so I think that is really, really neat that you were in a high school class, especially because I learned about those mainly last year. when I was in CCA and that. So I think that's really neat that you also are connected to high school clubs when you were around my age.
Oh, I was in a lot of clubs. I was in debate club, thespians,
Did you ever win awards in these
FBLA,
clubs?
DECA. What else was I in? Swimming.
Did you win any awards in these clubs?
Yeah, I had them in a box, and then I lost the box.
That is how life is sometimes.
Yeah, you just lose the box. Yeah, and all those clubs helped me get a scholarship, and that was good. And the best thing about being in those clubs is the away meets. So we got to leave our town and stay in hotels and get fed food for free on the bus.
There's few things that a high school student, I know now, but I don't know specifically then, enjoys as much as free food.
And
Even
getting
if they-
and a free hotel and
Oh,
a
yeah.
free bus trip.
Oh yeah.
You don't even want to know the
Sometimes
excitement.
it's not even specifically that they can't afford it or whatever. It's just the simple idea.
Oh no, we couldn't afford it. It was great.
Even like rich kids these days, and especially in Utah, just the idea of free food just sounds
Yeah,
so cool.
like even at church tonight, they were passing out those burgers and
free
people were-
food is just like
It was
automatic.
total like Walmart burgers
I don't
too.
really care if it could have been anything. I'd be out there
No.
following it.
This food tastes better when it's free.
It has. I think it gains the special sauce and flavor when it's free.
It's the free sauce.
It's a free sauce, and no matter how it really tastes, while you're eating.
Well,
you're thinking
no,
about
there's limitations.
I
If it's
know.
free bacon.
While,
Ugh.
while you're eating it, you're thinking about how free it is.
You better ask me those other questions.
Which one?
The ones that you said you had to get to. On your list.
I don't have too many more.
We're winding down here, buddy.
Buddy. Alright, so shifting gears to when you had children. What was the most terrifying part about becoming a mother for the first time? What was the most rewarding?
Oh, the childbirth was great. I liked it.
It was not terrifying?
No, it was not that sore.
Were you nervous about it?
No.
Not that sore.
So overrated. Men.
Not that sore.
No, men make it out to be such a big deal, and it's not really. No, it's not comfortable, but
That's because every woman I've ever talked to about or heard about it says it's the worst thing you've ever gone through their entire life.
no,
So-
the worst thing that you ever go through in your whole life is getting married.
My point
The
is
kids are great.
My point is that there is a reason why it's not imposed by men. There's a reason why people feel that way.
No, it's because of Hollywood.
Hollywood. There's
Yeah.
movies. This is how bad childbirth is.
I'm just telling you, it was overrated.
That is one silly.
No,
thing.
there was everything about Emerald was great. Being pregnant was great. The baby was great. Everything was great. Oh, I did get mastitis, which is it's an infection that you get when you're breastfeeding. That was sore. That was actually more sore than childbirth. That was tough.
Isn't she a little turkey?
Yeah. You gonna put her in your video?
Maybe.
Oh, she's so cute.
Alright, so what were the main values you tried to pass down to us? And how do you try to discipline us to make sure we learn them?
To try. To actually try. And then to have integrity, to honor God, to value your family, to always be presentable when you go out. Like comb your hair, brush your teeth, and try to wear as nice a clothes as is appropriate for that situation. And try to do a good thing each day. And share, don't be selfish. Try not to be materialistic. Enjoy life, be interested in things. Give new experiences a whirl.
I think
Don't be pushed by trends. Be yourself and stick with the things that you love and you believe in. Yeah, that's
I
probably
think
what
all of those are really important. So crucial. I'm grateful that you introduced them to me, even from a young age. Because not only would they teach me to be open-minded, but they also taught me to not be a sheep and to follow my own path in life and to not feel like I have to follow somebody else. but at the same time not feel like just because somebody else is going through something I've never gone through, and like will never have to go through, that I can't relate to them and I can't talk with them and I can't but form a relationship that was just never there before. So I think that's neat that you had these plans to give me all this when I was younger and that, and then as I became older and that, it stuck with me, and all your effort did not go to vain, and it never went away.
Well, then hooray! Oh,
Hooray,
and
hooray.
and then there was another one. Thou shalt not smoke cigarettes.
Alright, now when it comes to smoking, I've Sunday, we did have church today. I need to be honest with you. I've decided to pick up the tube and the paper, and I've decided that cigarettes are the best way for me to have some fun during the summer.
Oh,
So I hope this isn't too
but
bad.
Sean said to spend time with God.
I hope this isn't too
Then you're
bad.
gonna spend time with Marlboro.
I'm gonna spend some time with what's it now?
Stuyvesant's, Marlboro,
Yeah,
Zins.
I have to make a confession that it's
Vaporoo.
not too that they even gave me a discount for my first order from drugs.com. So I'm expecting it to arrive Friday, so I'd like you to not give me any troubles with it. I expect that you'll be buying my weekly supply. There is a Black Friday discount.
Well, that's in a long time.
But it does run till Cyber Monday, and I was thinking, because my birthday was yesterday.
What?
I could ask for as my main birthday present because I didn't get anything for my
I'm
birthday.
gonna talk to that youth pastor. I don't want to know what's going on in there before I
Because
go
I didn't
there.
get anything for my birthday yesterday. I was thinking about how I can maybe have
Yesterday.
How I can maybe.
What is this? It wasn't your birthday.
Yes, it was my
It's time for you to
birthday,
film the rabbit.
I was thinking about how maybe I could have my cost of my
It's time to film the rabbit.
assumptions of such stated things covered over the next few months leading up till Cyber Monday. Don't worry, it runs throughout the whole weekend.
You're gonna film the rabbit to prove that we're there.
Yes, I am going to film the rabbit right now. And here, Miss Ray, this is my rabbit right here.
It's cuckoo.
That's my rabbit, Miss Ray.
That's my friend.
That's my mom and my best friend. We share our best friend.
Yeah,
Or,
that's not bad.
it's not a best friend.
Well, I had my own best friend, but she passed away.
So she has a new best
So
friend.
now I borrow yours.
We share the best friend.
Oh, cuckoo.
But she has plenty of love to spare, so
Yeah, and she's black.
this is my mom and our best friend. Alright, so thank you so much for listening to this interview. I don't know if you listened to how much of it. We got about the 58-minute mark, close enough. Thank you so much for listening, and yeah, I learned a lot from this interview and things I did not know before. So I thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.